All right, guys, welcome to the Get Bit Podcast, the podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, you are most certainly welcome here. I'm your host, the most Will Buchanan, of course, the man, my left, your right, depending on how your screen is flipped. And if you're already seeing the bottom part, well, I was already laughing. But what do you got for us, sir?
And we'll just go with I'm Joe. We got a
Uh,
lot to cover this week, so
That we do. But together we are the Give It Podcast, much like the WWE of old. Language does fly, so we're not going to stop that. At the same time, there may be things that might be shown that might be too intense for younger viewers, so viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. So, as Joe said, we do have a lot, so let's just go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to go ahead and really start with probably the easiest one because it is literally the musical that reminds me of Thomas the Train. With that being said, guys, if you don't remember from Hawkeye, there was a certain play called Rogers the Musical, which was supposed to be a fictional play, especially about the Battle of New York, in which was a catchy tune, even won an award, things of that nature. Well, if you are in Disneyland's California Adventure, you can now very soon go see Rogers the Musical in real life. So, there is no other way to put this, guys. You cannot sit there and say that the outpouring of a lot of people that want to see Rogers the Musical will now be able to go see it at Disney's California Adventure. But Joe, do we have any words for this outside of what's next?
I hope they extend into later things because I would kill for a musical number to just be called Bro, and it's with 24 dancing tracksuit Russians.
You know what? You say that, but Disney will turn that into a song somehow. But yeah, it's the fact that actually will be available. No word yet on when that will premiere. But if knowing Disney and the fact they want to space everything out, this will have a limited run. But stay tuned to Disney's California Adventure for more news on that. And speaking of news, guys, we are going to go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room. It's been a week since its release. The rule here on Get Bit is we don't talk about things when they immediately release. We do talk about it once it's out.
The Mercenary Elephant. It's actually not a bad game.
Although that's one, but actually we are talking about Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania, which again is the first story of the multiverse saga in which Ant-Man does face the next universe's big bad, Kang the Conqueror, played by Jonathan Majors. As I said before, we are going to go into detail on this. So if you have yet to see Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, now would be the good time to mute us or at least go do something else for a few minutes because we are going to go into detail about the movie. So again, you've been warned. But Joe, you can go first, sir. Just overall, what did you think of Quantumania?
Oh no, I enjoyed it. This is an admirable step out onto Phase 5. Mm-hmm. The interesting thing is that this title is for the Wasp clearly does not mean Janet Van Dyne. This means or not Hope Van Dyne. It means Janet Van Dyne or Janet Pym, whichever one we're calling her these days. Because Evangeline Lilly said things on Twitter, and I guarantee you 80% of her dialogue got cut from this movie.
Yeah.
Because the real Wasp is Michelle Pfeiffer, who continues to do no wrong, looks fantastic, and hits it out of the park every single chance she gets. Paul Rudd is hilarious, although I will say his greatest moment is the finale. We can also tell that the ending got reshot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because I guarantee you this was going to end on a downer, and they're like, we can't start Phase 5 on a downer. The most realistic thing is Scott walking down the street. It's like, wait, what did he say? Oh, God, did I just make everything worse? I also have a Kang theory that this Kang was actually supposed to escape, and had he escaped, he'd be the one who remains, because the one who remains talked about, well, I got out, defeated all my rivals, and made a perfect singular timeline.
Yeah.
And then this king talks about, once I get out, I'm going to defeat my rivals and make a perfect singular title. I was like, oh, he was supposed to
To be
escape.
he, yeah, he was the one.
The weird thing is, though, is that they also show the other kings, and Immortus is among them. It's like, well, that doesn't add up because Immortus is supposed to be he who remains.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, I'm just going to say it, a knockoff bootleg version of Lopan from Wish. Look, that's not my fault. He's got the costume. He's doing the little snake voice.
I
It
mean, you're
looks
not
like
wrong.
Lopan.
You're not wrong, but damn, that just now hit me. That just
So that's super weird because, like, Immortus out of all the kings is
mm-hmm.
probably the most, not good, but he's honestly the most chill, and of the many faces of King, he is the dude love of King.
Yeah, I get
He's
that.
like, dude, it's all good. Everything happens for a reason. What will be, and I have already been. But no, everything else is fantastic. I see a lot of hate for this movie, and some of it I can understand, but I just tend to find joy in things no matter what if I'm gonna pay attention to it.
Yeah.
So I it's not this movie is not without its faults. I have no idea what Scott's journey in this movie was. It just made no sense to me. It's just Cassie don't do things I did.
And
Uh,
and did the same things. That's
and
the
did the
wild.
same things. Cassie's was like Cassie had the better story. Jane or Hope had no story, but again, don't say stupid things on Twitter between your films, and your role won't be diminished. Uh, honest to God, if anything, I thought Hank was going to die this film because I honestly, with the exception of if the Fantastic Four is a period piece and we see a de-aged, it's Michael Douglas, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
A de-aged Michael Douglas like we did before. I honestly don't see a reason why Hank is moving forward.
When I sat there and saw the story, I was like, I was with you. I said somebody's bound to die after this, and that kind of made me think as I was watching Quantumania, like the way they're talking about Scott, which the beginning of it all, I have to give it credit for. He's on top. He's at a wonderful. His business is thriving. The fact that Hope got back her father's company, and the whole thank you Spider-Man, I was like, okay, that's a nice little riff, I'll
Which
give you that.
apparently that was improv
Yeah, I
from the
like
guy
it.
that was clearly meant to be Stan Lee, but he is also somebody else important. He's like a very old, important actor.
Mm-hmm. I was wondering, it's like is that the next, is that our watcher, is that is that the one who observes but never interferes? I mean I'm just saying, but beyond that, I get the whole thing of introducing Cassie, her sticking around Hank, really exploring the quantum realm, and the whole thing with Janet holding secrets back, and how Jonathan Major's character with Kane, I'm like, with Kane was just, it sucks you in as far as how he brought Kane the Conqueror to life. I mean, granted, we saw it on Loki, but we saw He Who Remains on Loki. But it's very weird to actually hear, oh, you hear the words, he's a conqueror. He's destroyed many planets, and he's conquered many universes, and that whole dynamic of his character was just freaking awesome. And there were a couple of other characters that were scene stealers too. Especially, I can't remember the walking Jello mold. That was, you have holes. I
So
can't.
that was actually voiced by one of Scott's crew. He was the one who says Baba Yaga a whole bunch.
Oh,
That was
Damien.
him.
Oh, that was Damien Damashian.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that. I was wondering because I figured with his stint on Suicide Squad, because Polka Dot Man's kind of dead. But no, it's like I love that character just because you have holes, and then when he realized I have holes now, I can, and what he does, you can't help but laugh. But he was one of those characters I enjoyed. Drinking the ooze, which, by the way, I finally got that part where you told me about that. I was like, it's good, just drink the ooze, really? I was like, oh, so this is basically your universal translator. Okay, cool, makes sense. Bill Murray's character was, again, I did not know who he was, and it was a lot of
No,
speculation.
I didn't either.
Yeah, it was a lot of speculation as who he was playing in the quantum realm. But Bill Murray, again, never ceased to amaze in whatever role he plays. But at the end, overall, yeah, it's like we kind of expected something to happen because you hear Kang saying, I've killed Avengers before, which I was like, okay, so is this a prelude to what we're going to be seeing with him with the Kang Dynasty? Or is he just saying that, I've killed Ant-Man before, which was, let's be honest, was heavily implied in the trailers leading up to this movie, to where we would see a death. And
well,
no, go ahead.
The weird thing about Kang is, Kang is one of those weird characters where he has multiversal memory, so he remembers everything he did.
Yeah.
Not just himself, but himself, which I hate talking about Kang sometimes because pronouns are super weird with him.
Yeah.
Not the he, she, but
which Kang is
referencing himself.
Yeah.
Because they're all technically one singular person, just at different points of his life. Even Doctor Who goes like, your timeline's terrible.
Even Doctor Who would go like, sir, group therapy is in your future.
Yeah, we did see the group therapy.
Yeah. It's like group therapy. Woof, Jesus. But no, you expected a death, which I'm surprised they're keeping them all alive because I really expected Scott to be stuck in the quantum realm, considering the fact of his sacrifice. I kind of thought King would stop a mud hole him and walk him dry a couple of times.
Well, he did, because most definitely this was he was hopping between the Creed set and this set.
Yeah, he was
one final fight.
Jesus, he was. Oof, that was a beatdown and a half.
Like, I guarantee you that this was a reshoot ending because I bet the original one was Scott and Hope are stuck in the quantum realm after they defeat Kane. They send a signal out, and that signal was supposed to be what we saw in Shang-Chi.
That's what I was going to get to next.
Now, I'm guessing that signal is now going to be the FF trying to get someone to notice them from the negative zone.
Yeah.
Because sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but it does make sense that you would look at it and think, okay, so it's giving off a signal, which means the 10 rings are giving off a signal. So it's like, okay, this is how you're trying to connect as far as how they're going to come together in Phase 5. So I get that, really and truly, I do. And of course, the scene at the end though, with all the Kangs being together, I was like, if this group therapy is not going to solve this problem.
That shot was just taken so they can recreate the famous comic shot of the first Council King shot.
Yeah.
There's nothing more to that. The ones we have to worry about are the Scarlet Centurion, which I hope to God that man gets more red if he puts more armor on him. Because, clad in silver, but called the Scarlet Centurion. Ramatut clearly is going to be the big bad for Fantastic Four. I think that was already said. And I have no idea what Immortanus is doing there because Immortanus doesn't hang with these dudes. He's in like his own palace in time, which was the mansion of He Who Remains.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what Lopan's up to, but he's there.
True, but it's just odd. But
we'll get a younger Kang, or because we got the final credit scene is just a scene from Loki season 2.
Which again I'm happy to see Loki and Agent Morbius together again in a TVA fashion. The fact that they are now tracking him through time. So I dig that. I mean, that made me feel good that we do know the direction of Loki season 2 now. With that it will involve He Who Remains or Kang, depending on which variant we get.
That variant was Victor Timely.
Thank you.
Who was named after Marvel's original printing, Timely Fun.
Thank you. Oh, so it's a Timely Comics. Okay.
Timely Comics.
Yeah. Okay.
I
All right.
want them to like run into the one king I want them to run into so badly
What's
is
that?
Fred. Which is just everyday run of the mill Jonathan Majors just doing stuff.
I about to say you got to explain Frank before I
No,
start
Fred is
laughing.
exactly that. He is a king of modern times.
Mm-hmm.
No standard, no futuristic technology. He is just a dude of the 20th century. Like he's
But
aware of everything. It's just he's like, nah, I'm good. I got bills to pay.
he's normal. But for me and Jobo, we both enjoyed Ant-Man Quantumania. However, things we gotta address a little bit. First one is going to be, I am not a I am not a special effects person. I don't have knowledge on it. I don't have background on it. But it has been brought to our attention that a lot of people may have not liked about some of the visual effects that were in Ant-Man 3. Joe was pointing out one to me before we started about how MODOK looked. That there
Like we
may
can
have been
sum
some
it up.
issues there. But go ahead,
I
Joe.
can sum it up the easiest way.
Mm-hmm.
MODOK potato head so that Namor could fly.
Which it really was. The explanation that we got was that, of course, graphics artists who work for Marvel are under crushing deadlines, but they also go by priorities. In this case, Black Panther Wakanda Forever did get priorities and resources and people. So those that were on the Ant-Man 3 movie did not get the same resources. And because of that, they're saying that's why you're seeing some crappy spotting. Now as for me, I didn't really see it, but then again, I'm not trained in that. Joe said that again, MODOK, which is again is a spoiler if you haven't figured that out yet, was in there. And now that I think about it, there were some spots where he did look a little off. So I get that. But like I said, when it comes to Marvel, they put their resources in people who they want in the best movies, I guess. But go ahead,
The
Joe.
other thing I want to say on this movie is I guess Ant-Man and the Wasp is really referring to Hank and Janet because I just thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
Scott doesn't really shrink anymore. He's doing the Giant Man stuff now.
Well, I mean, yeah, I would say the Giant Man stuff because I saw Cassie do when Cassie did that first time.
Well, that's actually Cassie's bigger thing is that she's more stature. She grows big more than she shrinks.
Yeah, but I just love the fact
Not
she was.
now. Plus, there's just weird, like little nitpicky inconsistencies nowadays.
Yeah,
Like, they have to grow to be able
enormous
to hit.
sizes.
No, they have to grow to normal size to be able to combat people. Where,
Oh yeah,
like in
yeah,
the first movie, they strictly stated when you're shrunk, you still maintain standard height density.
yeah.
So that's why, like, it was so effective. And I think they also said, like, if you shrink, you have to wear the helmet because of oxygen reasons.
And that kind of went out the window.
Yeah, that went
That went
out
out
the
the window.
window.
Though.
There were also other things that, like, I would have done differently. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I would have had King definitely kill Cassie in that cell and then make Scott watch and then rewind the times, like, and I'll do it again until because he threatens it, but I want him to follow through one time
I think.
and then rewind time.
Ooh, that would just be. I mean, it would prove a point. I don't think Disney's that. I don't think Disney's gonna go that extreme.
You don't have to show it, you just have to hear the next snap.
Yeah, but they. I mean, you can actually have it pan from Paul Rudd's face as he watched it, and then go from there, just to avoid the actual act. But I think Disney kind of shies away now from doing certain things, which it's kind of cautionary. I understand it, but at the same time, it's like you're kind of going away from what the character really is. So I'll give it that. But
So many people were like, how could King lose to ants? It's like, well, there are ants that have been made their own hyper science
ants that have been living for
civilization.
millennia.
Hyper science civilization for 1,000 years,
Mhm.
and they got numbers. Kang's got high tech gear from the 31st century,
Mhm.
but Force shields have stress limits, and
and you got
with
and he
100
got
ants the size of you swarm over you,
that's a lot,
that shield's going down.
pretty much.
And your tech gauntlets are probably shredded.
Mm-hmm. That's why I was laughing when they said, "Oh, these ants have evolved." I was
Raised a
like,
level 2 technocratic society, I think is what he said.
and of course, Hank Pym's character. You know what? I could study them. Really now? In the middle of a fight? Really now? But aside from that, also,
And what
I was
was
like,
the other one? What was the other one nitpick I heard a whole bunch? Oh,
uh,
Janet not having her quantum powers anymore, miraculously.
that I was going to ask about, but I think they're going to address that sometime because the fact that she was connected and the fact she was helping Ghost, which we now know Ghost is a part of Thunderbolts. I think that story's going to be wrapped up. I think that story's going to be talked about, but it's not. We're never going to see a scene for that.
I just thought the quantum powers were going to be their hand wavy way of her stinger blasts, but
Mm.
like Hope's comes from her suit. I just assumed like Michelle Pfeiffer's was just going to be like quantum blasts.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a temporary thing. I think that's the way they wanted to really tie that in. But the other complaint, though, that a lot of people got about Ant-Man, and I can say this, and I can understand it because what's the last time we saw an Ant-Man movie without Luis? For all those that don't know, Luis is the guy that we want to basically narrate really the Infinity War saga because if you've seen Ant-Man, you know who Luis is. And for Ant-Man and the Wasp, because Luis has been in every indentation of the movie except this one. So a lot of fans were missing Luis, played by Michael Pena, and his recaps. The reason we got told was because Ant-Man was going to be in the quantum realm and we're going to be introduced to so many new characters that it was simply not enough room for Luis to be a part of it.
No, I know the exact perfect point you put Louise in the thing.
Yeah.
That's where bleh. No, I do know it. Give me a second. It's just brain fart.
No, go
It's
for
where
it.
Scott comes to that existential crisis at the end.
Yeah. And
And
then
then you just
Luis,
hear Louis like, nah, man, it's okay.
and that would have been perfect. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would have loved a recap. But I had to explain to somebody, you're not gonna get Luis in the quantum realm. And if you did,
What's he gonna do?
runtime would be 3 hours because 45 minutes would be him just talking with everybody. But at the same time, I understand it that it's still a weak sauce argument that Luis couldn't be a part of it. I mean, he didn't have to be in the quantum realm. He could have been with Scott before they entered. He could have been like Joe said. He could have been with him after. It's just the fact that Luis is associated with that man so much that it's kind of almost not whole unless we get him. But hopefully, the next Ant-Man movie, he will hopefully be there. I'd like to see him in more than just an Ant-Man movie, but according to Kevin Feige, you never know. But speaking of, I know we did touch on this earlier, but I just wanted to go ahead and get this out of the way. We did talk about Namor because, let's be honest, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, did get the lion's share of people, resources, and money. And of course, we have been told that Namor has been confirmed for Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. Now, at this point, we do not know where his role will actually stand. For all you guys that remember, he's in a temporary truce with Wakanda, although secretly he is basically using them as a human shield because now the world knows about Wakanda and its vibranium. However, nobody knows about his kingdom or him. But Joe, just out of curiosity, now that we know he's going to be confirmed for the next Avengers movie, do we see him as an ally, or do we see him waiting in the wings, or do we see him just waiting to pick his moment?
I will answer that the same way I've been answering every question I've gotten. It depends on which Kang we're dealing with.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I hate how much of a cop-out answer that is,
But it's
right now, that's like the biggest truth because I had someone ask me, "It's like who's stronger, Kang or Thanos?" And I had to tell them it depends on the Kang.
yeah. I mean, there's no argument there. I can't. I'm like I'll put it this way. I have no argument about that. because you don't know which king you're going to wind up with in the King Dynasty. At the same time, you don't know if Namor is going to be allied with him or against him. We don't know.
No, Namor's not. Namor teams up with Doom on a regular basis, but I don't think he messes with Kang.
It would be true, but considering how the MCU has been writing as of late, I'm 50-50.
I mean, if he's the stand-in, then that means he'll be teaming up with Ramatut.
True.
Well, wait a minute.
I can see Ramatut.
Well, I'm trying to think the Egyptian Empire. Was that before or after Namor was born?
Before.
Okay, so,
Mm-hmm. But I can see that. But also another quick news before we get on to other stuff too, because again, we are in the world of Marvel. Wonder Man has found a director. Forgive me if I mispronounce this. Stella Maggie, who actually did direct The Photograph, has signed on to direct multiple episodes of the Marvel Studio series Wonder Man that's going to be coming to Disney Plus streaming services. However, it's unclear about how many episodes at the moment. However, the going rumor is it might be 6 installments. For most Disney shows, I think
6 to 9.
I would say 6 to 9 because Moon Knight was about what, 8?
Yeah, the only one that's getting like the super big order is Daredevil because he's getting 18.
Yeah, Daredevil Born Again is the one that's going to be the one that's getting the lion's share. But Wonder Man, for all those that don't know, I'm looking forward to this series, not just because of that man right there who is playing Wonder Man, but I want to see him actually get written into the MCU because he's an actual interesting character himself. But I'm looking forward to that, knowing they have a director now. So again, it's hard to see Disney actually making any mistakes, but time will tell. Speaking of that, however, and I just want to make sure because, like I said, a lot of news. Because as Joe said, I don't know why on Thursdays do all news outlets decide to go bleh. But state of play, Sony's state of play, because there are if I'll put this way to sum it up, because we do have some trailers on some of the games, but for the most of them, they were mostly VR games.
I can summon those up very easily.
Go for it.
All VR games, I'm shooting you with my right hand and doing weird glowy shit with my left hand.
And you're not wrong. You are not wrong at all. But we did get some news. Like I said, we're going to split out the trailers because there are quite a few number of them and we still have news to get through. But Joe's signature is what I want to get to first. Why do I want to get to it first? Well, there's a reason. Because Street Fighter 6, before its June release, gave us an update on new fighters. You'll see why Joe has that.
Brace yourself! Useless hero! Force! Dynamite! Get ready! Dark Hammer! Yeah! It's time to get serious! This is your last ride! Let's go! My beautiful body is built better!
I call upon you, great wind, Toino Ikonoi, spirit of the wind. Let yourself become one with okay, smile. Good stuff. Wing together. Go. Here we go. So this spirit, only I can hear it.
But not the one we're looking for. Another mission awaits.
And you see why Joe now has that tag.
Capcom, we know what you're trying to do. So there are two significant things about Cammy.
Mm-hmm.
First off, her level 2 super is pays homage to Street Fighter the animated movie. That's how she was introduced.
Yeah.
And her stage is the CVS2 London stage, but at night.
Yeah. But again, Street Fighter 6, guys, does come out June 2nd. Again, it's on next gen, and I'm looking forward to it just because of what they're doing, and also the many other options that you will have on a Street Fighter 6. But again, can't complain. Zangief looks great.
Zangief looks great. I like that they updated his model where he's not like a giant pea.
Yeah.
Like the way they're doing characters with big characters this time around is they actually look like they have an ounce of body fat on them.
Yeah.
Lily looks fun too. I mean, she's either a T-Hawk's daughter or granddaughter, and she ends up being Julie's daughter.
Yeah.
I always forget which one it is, Julie or Junie.
It might be June. It might be Julie, because I'm like, for her to be T-Hawk's granddaughter, I think it's Julie. I want to say that's about right. But again, with that and Cammy, I'm like, at this point, it's shaping up very nicely. I can't find anything bad to say about Capcom. Really, with what they're doing with Street Fighter 6. But again, it is definitely great. Now, as Joe's confirming that information, real quick, because we found this out by accident, and I don't think that Warner Bros. Discovery wanted anybody to know about this, or at least not yet. If you're wondering about Injustice 3, well, I have bad news for you. It's not coming out yet. What is coming out, however, is Mortal Kombat 12. Now, why do we know this? Because Mortal Kombat 12, during a earnings call at Warner Bros. Discovery, it was announced there. Of course, for those that were paying attention, of course, went to Twitter, and NetherRealm Studios head honcho Ed Boon did what he does in great fashion. He decided to troll about it. So who's heard the news about Injustice 3? Which all I can sit there and say is, well done, Ed Boon. Well done. You tried, but well done. But NetherRealm Studios is working on Mortal Kombat 12. Of course, another Injustice game. We'll have to wait. Ed Boon did not confirm nor deny that an Injustice 3 game was coming, but let's be honest, it probably is. And of course, we may find out about news of Mortal Kombat, if not by the end of this year, possibly next year. But Joe, was Ed Boon really trying, or I think he was just trying to sit there and be like, okay, you got us?
Well, I mean, he can't avoid it if it's an investor meeting, Cole. But yeah. I still feel it's super weird that this didn't get announced like at State of Play or just somewhere else. Like the investors had to spoil, which is odd. I mean, yeah, you got to tell your shareholders, hey, here's what's coming down the line, but that should have been like much more heavily guarded.
You would think so.
And on top of that, what is even the new one? I mean, because like, I want to say the last Mortal Kombat was a an original story, but also kind of covered Deadly Alliance and Deception.
They did, although it would move. Well, technically, it would move forward with Liu Kang. Liu Kang is basically the new Is basically the protector of Earthrealm now, and he's also a fire god. So
he's the fire god and the lightning god. So,
yeah.
But like, where do you go from there? Because like, if it's a rebooted universe and he has Katana with him as a god, like.
Well, I mean, you could actually bring a new character. I mean, I'm not asking to bring back Shao Kahn. You've already done Shang Tsung, which, by the way, to Gary, I can never pronounce his last name, who voiced
Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa.
Thank you. Who gave us Shang Tsung, not voiced him. He gave us Shang Tsung. So definitely want to give that man his respect for all the years he's basically voiced Shang Tsung and acted as Shang Tsung. But I don't know. I mean, Mortal Kombat 12 could use a refresher. Not to say that Mortal Kombat 11 wasn't great, Aftermath wasn't great, fighting was great, story was great, not knocking that. But if they are pushing forward with 12 has to be an original story. Now, because they're working on it, they've announced it, plenty of time in between, Ed Boon and NetherRealm Studios. I don't see them rushing it. I think it'll be great in its own due time. But yeah, Warner Bros. Discovery did let that slip that Mortal Kombat 12 was coming.
Yeah, I mean, like the biggest issue is since this is a new realm or new Earth, you can't have any of your old characters.
Right.
I mean, Sub-Zero and Scorpion are code names for their ninja clans, but it's not going to be those guys anymore. It's going to be different things. We won't have a Johnny Cage. We won't have, I mean, you know, for some people, this would be a good thing. We're not going to have the combat kids.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with new characters. I'm okay with new characters because in reality, that's how 3, Ultimate, 4, and I'm forgetting one. I know I'm forgetting one.
Oh, yeah, because we're so looking forward to Raiko and Sue coming back.
Hey, it could be worse. You could get Bo Chai back. You could get Bo Chai back.
I mean, Bo Chai wasn't back. He was just like, what happens when you can't stomach all the alcohol and be a drunken master? We could have the Dragon God come back, I guess. We can have
the
fire dude.
You can always have Stryker come back for no reason.
Didn't he die in the game too?
Yeah, they say he died off. They say he died off screen.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
He died off screen in 11. So yeah, they said he was dead. Again. But no, I mean, if it's gonna be 12, why not make an original story? Why not make it new characters? I mean, you're gonna have to sprinkle in some nostalgia. Let's be honest.
Like if anyone's returning, it's a Scorpion and a Sub-Zero because they're two synonymous, but it just won't be the original ones.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're gonna have the Sub-Zero with the amulet because that makes him immortal, and Scorpion's a specter; he can't die.
But if it's a new universe, they haven't been born yet.
That is also true, which you're gonna have to explain anyway. Or you could play the Portal game. It doesn't always gotta be stuck in It doesn't always have to be about Earth. And you know, the way they did Aftermath was all about time. So
I deal with so many portals now that I play with Ileana.
Oh yeah. Which, by the way, as I'm getting the next story set up, sir, you have to explain since you got to play Midnight Suns. How'd you like it?
I've gone further than the game has intended me to. I'm fairly certain I'm taking on level 5 and level 6 missions, and Ileana, Carol, and Spider-Man are around level 12, level 13. I can't upgrade anything anymore because the missions aren't giving me enough money because I've gone further than expected.
So you're one-shotting everybody.
Not really one-shotting, but it's very easy to handle things. I mean, even in the card games, because I keep getting all the quick kills very easily, or Ileana just like, I portal, I kick, I portal again, I kick you again. Oh, look, everything continuously refunds until the board's clear. Now the game's starting to run in bosses I've already defeated. Like, I did a simple mission that's like easy, and Crossbones just decided to just show up randomly.
Well, that's probably the game just trying to trip you up. Or at least trying. Maybe not.
I mean, it's part of the game. It announces it earlier, but now it's like just like random supervillains are coming back. Like I've gotten Captain America,
Mm-hmm.
Wolverine has been seen, and I've played with him, but he's not a part of the team yet. Friend Simulator with Marvel has been fantastic. Peter's a ball of joy because it's clearly Sony Spider-Man Peter before the Miles Morales stuff.
Okay.
And before the White Spider stuff. Like, this is before that career, before that game is, I think, where this takes place. If we want to say it's all connected because it's Sony and whatnot, but I'm really enjoying myself. It's just I've overpowered my characters and the economy can't keep up with me.
You basically broke the game.
It's not that I've broken the game. It's just that I need to purposely start using other characters. Like, I still can use Blade, Ghost Rider, Doctor Strange, Iron Man. I just choose not to. So they're my favorite characters are all level 10, level 12. Everybody's like level 4, level 7.
Nice. Oh God. Well, speaking of X-Men, I kind of figured you overpower him eventually. But
so I immediately overpowered Ileana. Like, not only does she have the right deck, she has the enhanced version of all the cards for that deck. The only thing I don't have is her legendary move because I have to do a trial that's not open to me yet because I'm not further enough in the game.
Damn. That being said, guys, that's basically Joe's take on Midnight Suns. I'm going to ask for updates on it as he proceeds further. However, there is some comic book news we did want to cover before we get to our comic book pulls, especially this one because this is something I haven't heard of in a long time. Marvel's Contest of Chaos event involving the X-Men, the Avengers, Spider-Man, Deadpool, and more. Now, for all those that don't remember what Contest of Chaos was, there was a being that came to the Marvel Universe and decided to just basically have one big-ass battle royale to claim the title of strongest warrior in the MCU. That being said, they want to bring it back up again this summer to where they're not saying a lot, but the story they're calling it is Contest of Chaos. So
the old 80s one was Contest of Champions, and I just don't think Ben Grimm's going to pull it off this time because Ben's no longer a rough and tumble single man.
Yeah.
He's happily married with adopted kids, and he's got to be dead before he can be the ever-loving blue-eyed thing.
Yeah.
We know a Chaos Lord is going to cause this fight, and, they just can't catch a break. This will be happening
right after. This is post Sins of Sinister, isn't it?
I want to say this maybe even post Fall of X. Or this will be leading into Fall of X.
Well, yeah, this will probably be leading into Fall of X because Sins of Sinister should be finishing before June.
I want to say April.
Oh, I'm way off. Okay, so I would say April. Yeah, April, May. Yeah, so I would have to say Fall of X is probably going to be after that. It's probably going to be after Fall of X. But again, Contest of Chaos is going to be. It's like I said. I remember the original. I remember the one back in the '80s, but I still want to go back and watch it. Watch it. Terrible. Read it.
No, you can watch it. There's a way to watch it. It's called Dial M for Monkey on Dexter's Lab, where he has to fight Wrestler, voiced by Macho Man.
I'm gonna have to look that up later. But that's coming out.
Never seen that?
No.
Yeah, the Justice Pals have to fight Wrestler, and then Monkey keeps going in, and Wrestler's like, "No, you're a monkey. Get out of the ring."
I have to go back and go find that.
It's done by Macho Man.
But Contest of Chaos is going to come out in summer 2023. Also, this needs to be talked about just because this is starting to become a chore on Wednesdays. But The Flash, the abbreviated season. I'm gonna let Joe take this one because I'm not gonna lie, I almost fell asleep on it. But Joe, did you see any improvement from this most recent week's episode?
There was 80% less Iris.
That was true. That is very true.
This is just a heist episode, which is fine, but this is also the obligatory episode of the season where more people find out Barry Allen is the Flash because someone just outs his secret identity.
That is starting to become Iron Fist season 1, where it's like, why
Well,
does
that's not
every
his.
villain?
There's a difference. Iron Fist literally introduces himself as it. In the Flash, someone just like accidentally outs it or outs it on purpose.
Well, let's also be honest. They're all sitting inside Star Labs as it's happening. It's like you bring villains to Star Labs. It's just like, wait a minute, you can't afford all this. You can't not on a cop salary. You can't afford this. It's like you see two of the three villains are like, you really don't know who he is, and I feel bad because Goldface. I'm like Goldface. I'm like, really, Goldface? You haven't figured this out?
Look, he's busy with book club. It's a safe space.
That was still now. I admit that part was funny.
That was good.
That part was funny. That part was really funny. I said that to you in confidence.
Book club is a safe space. The only thing that I kind of really got annoyed with is the Chuck Allegra stuff. I don't know why they are dragging that out.
For reasons beyond my comprehension, it makes no sense.
I thought we had gotten Ragdoll back, but apparently it's someone named Amir, which I don't know.
I thought it was
that because the first time I saw it, I was like, oh crap, Ragdoll's back.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't recognize. I was like, wait a minute, knife, sign language, can't talk. I have no idea who that is. I kept on trying to think about it for the longest time. I couldn't figure out who he was. But again, I do like the fact, also on a separate note, I do like the fact, even though The Flash has an abbreviated season, I do like the fact that more deaf actors are being introduced, especially because really quick, The Last of Us, not this episode, but the recent episode, but the episode before this one. And I say this very kindly just because that last before the current episode is a little rough. If you play the game, you know the part I'm talking about. If you've already watched the episode, you're probably still recovering. The young man that played in The Last of Us, who was also a deaf actor, was freaking amazing. So I definitely want to give that young man props. I want to give whoever is on Flash who's playing in that character props, just because it's just great acting. That's all I can sit there and say about that. Also, go ahead, Joe.
Oh, I got caught up with Picard.
Oh, what you got?
Oh, yeah, no, Picard's actually going on all cylinders. We learn of who the mysterious young man of fame is. It's it's Beverly Crusher's newest son, but the dad is yet to be revealed, even though you know exactly who the dad is. We get to see Worf in the newest episode. We get to see the daughter of Geordi, who's a helmsman. And I like how Riker embarrasses her immensely. It's like, wait, Sydney LaForge? Or no, Picard recognizes her as Sydney LaForge, and he's like, then you see Riker get that look on his face in the background. It's like, wait, Crash LaForge? I was a cadet, sir. Yeah, you flew 2 shuttles and crashed both of them. Again, sir, I was a cadet. And that's why they gave you that nickname, Crash LaForge. It's like...
Damn.
And you just look at 7 of 9, just like... 7 of 9, God bless that woman. She's just like... Why do I deal with this in my life?
Like, I work with children. I work with children.
And the new captain, which he's one of those made to hate because he's super by the book. He's the new commander of the Titan.
Okay.
But the first thing he goes like, yeah, the first thing I did as soon as I got done is I purged all the jazz out of this place. Like, too chaotic. I'm a man of structure. Yeah. So the first thing you hear is he like expunged all Will Riker's music off the Titan. But he's also now one of those characters by the end of the episode, like, oh, we are going to be sympathetic and love this man because he is a man of principle. He's just too wound too tight.
Until he loosens up and then until he loosens up, he's serious.
He's basically what if Boimler from Lower Decks became a captain. He's just way too tightly wound. Okay. But you can also see towards the end, it's like, yeah, okay. Oh, we also got to see one of the best things ever. We got to see a ship, tractor beam, and throw another ship at a ship.
So the things I always knew I could do in the video game was actually did in the show.
Yes, so like
the
the enemy ship takes a Starfleet cruiser and tosses it at the Titan via tractor beam. And they actually did say, did they just throw a ship at us?
Nice. Okay, cool.
Worf is still Worf.
I still got to catch up with Picard before I watch this final season. I'm still in 2, but I'm gonna do my best to catch up this weekend. But thank you for that, Joe. But move right along, guys. Like I said, we don't want to put the trailers back to back. This one I'm definitely looking forward to because it's Destiny. It's the next chapter called Lightfall. And again, this comes out on February 28th.
What is that? The Witness.
The malefactor of our first collapse is at our doorstep.
You have no purpose, because you fear to seek one. That fear is your failure.
This is what you
Vanguard to all units. Keep the enemy away from the Traveler at all costs.
This is what you get when you mess with us.
I understand what's at stake, Lightbearer. Not all of us have lives to spare.
Your fear brings you pain. We know pain. Our purpose is its end.
The battle begins here and now.
This is what you get. When you mess with us.
Okay, so that was actually Destiny 2's Lightfall. The next expansion in the Destiny 2 series, as you can see, comes out February 28th for PS5, PS4, of course, Xbox, wherever you play it. As a Destiny fan that's been from the beginning, I am looking forward to this. Again, this is Bungie on its own before it decided to rejoin back up with Microsoft. That's a lot to look forward to in this DLC, especially with the new powers, the new story with the Witness. And I'll give my reviews on it as soon as it's available, which will be about 4 days from now. But also, I am playing Atomic Heart, but I'm not going to give my opinion on that until I finish it. But that's for another thing. But yes, I am looking forward to that. But Joe, I do got to ask you this, sir, because this is definitely up your alley. Because for anybody that knows the Thunderbolts, I usually lean to Joe for this. And the news that we did get this week was that Steve Ewan, forgive me if I mispronounced your last name, sir.
Chris
Yoon, sorry, my apologies. Has been casted in the Thunderbolts for the MCU. That being said, because the only reason I remember him is from playing Glenn the Walking Dead and his inevitable fate with a certain bat. That being said, Joe, now that we know he's going to be in the Thunderbolts, just playing guest casting, who do you see him playing in the Thunderbolts?
He's also the main character in what's it called? Impossible? No. The one with the superhero dad and son on Amazon.
Invincible.
Yeah, he's also the voice of Mark.
Yeah, he's in Mark of Invincible.
As for who he'll be casted, if it was me, he'd be Fixer.
Now, yeah, for all those that don't know, Joe, you might explain who Fixer is?
Let me just pull it up. Go ahead and pull up like a picture of it.
Okay, I got you.
Just Google Fixer and you'll see what I mean.
Google Fixer.
That is going to be Beetle Mark 2. Like
Oh,
he is definitely not going to be Sentry or any like big time supervillain. He's at this point, if we continue to see castings in this, we are either casting um
so he basically would be
Zemos.
a so he'd be
We're,
basically be a version of that.
yes, we're either casting Zemos Thunderbolts, or
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason, he's going to be an adult Amadeus Cho.
Okay.
I'm not against that, but I don't want it to be Chobro or what's his hero code name, Braun, where he's like Hulk.
Okay.
Like, I don't mind an adult Amadeus Cho, but if it's up to me, I would cast him as another Zemo Thunderbolt because we've already had one casting where it was rumored that we'll get Songbird. Another person was casted, which if she's going to be in it, I guarantee you she's Moonstone. I would not mind this person either being the Fixer or let's pull up Beetle Mach 5.
Because I was curious about that actually, because I was like, because for me, my Thunderbolts knowledge is rather limited. But it does make you do bring up a great point though. If Baron Zemo is basically going to have his own Thunderbolts or split off or just simply take over the team, because again, we don't really have a lot of information about the Thunderbolts as of yet, but I think because as we get closer to their release in the MCU, we'll eventually find that out.
See, my whole thing on this is that they are going the initial Thunderbolts roster we got is not going to be killed, but they are going to be incapacitated almost immediately upon formation. Negative zone, warped out, beaten to where they can't function anymore, and they have to go to Zemo or they have to do something that forces the actual Thunderbolts to take center stage.
Makes sense.
Because the more I'm looking at that roster and the more casting we see in this, this cast is too big, and there are clearly two teams of Thunderbolts. So, like, I'm just waiting for, I want to say Atlas, Mark II, and then that's it, unless they're going to put Speed Demon on there, but Speed Demon is part of New Thunderbolts. Joystick, and what's the kid's name? I forget about the kid, but like Jolt, that's what it was. So Joystick and Jolt, but Jolt was an original Thunderbolt. Joystick was part of the New Thunderbolts, but like the more we see casting, the bigger this cast is, the more it's leaning towards, no, this is a Suicide Squad scenario where they're promoting the main dudes.
Yeah.
Main dudes are going to go out. The Red Guardian, Bucky, Ghost, Yelena, and whatnot. They're going to go out there. They're going to get their crap pushed in. Then we're going to get the actual Thunderbolts to play cleanup.
Okay. That makes sense.
Because, I mean, John Walker's just like being put in a movie just to get his ass kicked again. Let's face it.
I just can't. I cannot see that disrespectful beat down. Okay.
Well, anyone I can like see like doing anything would be Bucky and Yelena having to be handlers of the Zemo bolts.
Yeah.
Would be my thing because again, I think they're supposed to be going up against like overwhelming odds of either Hyperion or Sentry.
Would make sense.
And apparently Thaddeus Ross is supposed to be the president now.
Which is gonna have to explain that one. They're gonna have to explain that one.
He's elected president in New World Order. Or he's elected president as a result of the Thunderbolts, and then in New World Order he's president. Either way, like
that's kind of
Red Hulk is the president, so like this is one of those things where I can see where it's going, but I don't know for sure. But again, the more and more casting we get for Thunderbolts, the more obvious the initial team that we were presented is clearly a fake team and gets stuffed within the first act, and then the rest of the movie is the actual Thunderbolts.
I believe it. But that's good to know. So really quickly, because again, these next three pieces of movie information, movie and video game information will go by rather fast. We did get an update from Tom Hardy saying that Venom 3 is currently in production right now. For all those that don't remember, it was Spider-Man No Way Home. And at the end of Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, of course, they did tease the crossover to where Tom Hardy's Venom would meet Tom Holland's Spider-Man. As we saw in No Way Home, a little bit of the symbiote still remained in the MCU while Tom Hardy was transported back to the Sony universe. Now, again, there's not a lot of information beyond Venom 3 as far as, the story going and where Venom and Brock are at this point. But I think that Venom has honestly been, it hasn't been a knock out of the park major blockbuster home run movie for Sony. Has it been enjoyable? Yes. Do I think Tom Hardy does a great Eddie Brock? Yes. Is Venom entertaining? Absolutely. But what are we expecting from this? I mean,
I'm expecting Lethal Protector. That better be the name of the third movie. He's in New York. Lethal Protector.
I mean, I'm not against that. I'm not against Lethal Protector, but just every time I think about it, it's like he's always going to be there. But I'm curious because, again, we do know that Tom Holland did sign on to be Spider-Man, so possibly another trilogy of movies, more than likely. So I guess Sony and Disney must have worked that out. It's going to be interesting to see where they go from this. Like I said, not a lot has been shown about Venom 3 yet. We just know that's in production. But like I said, Sony, out of all its attempts to try to make MCU movies, Venom just seems to be the one that somehow stagnates enough to have another movie made. But again, I don't think it's a bad series. I'm just curious to see where they're going to go with 3, honestly, because out of everybody, the only symbiote that's still there would be the one that was created by the detective, and they still haven't explained how he became one.
I don't even think he's a symbiote. I still say that dude's a mutant. If
he is a mutant, that's going to explain a lot, considering that Sony's never said the M word, but remains to be determined. Video game wise, Lies of Pi, which is basically Pinocchio if Pinocchio was in Dead Souls. Another game that I'm looking forward to. It does have a release month in August of this year. Note I said August. There's not a date yet, but from what has been told us as release news today, the release date for Lies of Pi is in August of this year. Now, again, looking forward to it. I think the artwork is great. The flow is great. The trailer itself is online if you want to take a look at it. But yes, we have to wait at least 6 more months until we get to play Pinocchio with a sword. Looking forward to that, honestly. But any thoughts on Lies of Pi, Joe?
Not really. Not really a big Souls dude.
Okay, fair enough. Now, Joe, you got to remember a long time ago we said that Konami was going to have some sort of announcement. This was one of them. Metal Gear Solid 3 remake will be revealed and reportedly coming this summer. Konami had announced on a recent podcast called the VGC Podcast that Konami has basically said that the remake will be unveiled for E3 this year. So I guess they're trying to make sure that we're still interested, I guess. But they are doing a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. For all those that don't know, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater was basically Snake, aka Big Boss, during his time in the U.S. Soviet War, where again he was mostly in the jungle, mostly camouflage, but the boss battles will drive you crazy. Especially the end will drive you crazy.
I cheated. I just put my clock forward 2 weeks.
No, I didn't. I faced him on his own terms. That man just taunted me. But the end, the fury, the silence, we can keep going on. But in my opinion, outside of the original, outside of Sons of Liberty, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater was probably my favorite. Beyond that would be the Phantom Pain and then Guns of the Patriots. But of course, you still have Peace Walker, the rest of them that were released on PSP, which eventually did get to be able to play on PlayStation. But 3 being Snake Eater was to me the defining moment for Metal Gear. Playing as Big Boss, I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking forward to the remake. I want to see what they do with it. But Jody, thoughts on this, especially that they're kind of waiting till E3 to show this off?
I think I get to climb a ladder for 10 minutes while some lady sings Snake Eater.
That was a James Bond moment. Let's just call it what it is. That was a James Bond moment. Like, don't get me wrong, the song Snake Eater was definitely the soundtrack to the game. But at the same time, I was just like, how many more ways can you play this? Because I don't want
to add that Ape Escape level in it.
Say what?
Wonder if they're going to add the Ape Escape DLC content in it.
Just to give it just for shits and giggles. I guess, I mean, if it is, I'm not gonna be mad at it. I'm not gonna be mad about it, but I guess we'll have to wait till E3 to find that out. Aside from other news, again, I have to thank Joe because Joe found this because he found one of my favorite animes that I did not think after Zoid's Wild that we would see this again. But this has actually popped up on Twitter, and I am very curious to see what they do with it. Now I'm going to hold it right there because number one, it's Zoids. I love Zoids. I love New Sensory Zero. I loved the Zoids there that you see there with Van Flyheit. Zoids Wild, I could live with it, but this is teasing something for spring 2023. Now, because they showed Van Flyheit, if it's not a continuing story of that man, I'm going to be mad. But, Joe, any ideas on what you think it could possibly be for Zoids coming out this spring?
Well, we can run into all 3 scenarios. It could be a continuation of him being a fully grown adult. Mm-hmm. It could be a complete remake via circa Trigun, which is what's going on right now.
Right.
Not an animation style, but just telling a new spin on the same story. Or we're going Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and we're going to adhere closer to the manga.
Which, again, I'm not against it, because right now, Trigun Stampede, by the way, I know we haven't talked about it in a long time. It's really good. What they've done with the story, it's different, but it's great. Love what they did. I love what they did with Wolfwood, because that was my favorite character of the series, so I love what they did with him. But, yeah, I guess we'll have to find out in 2023 what Zoids will do. Now I want to go back and find Zoid kits to build. Oh, money well spent. Anyway, going into the next State of Play trailer. Again, this was the remake for Resident Evil 4. And if this is the gameplay, I'm definitely going to be playing it.
You see, we are all connected through the holy body. When you need only accept the sacred gift. Christ! Like she did.
Temperance, child.
I've taken the liberty of preparing some entertainment for you.
The entertainment.
Without further ado, the gallant knight protects the princess fair.
I'll make it cheap for you.
Move!
Is it always like this with you? How about you open fire instead of your mouth?
Long time no see.
Major Krauser? Why?
You can't save her. You can't save anyone.
What's gonna happen to me?
We gotta keep moving forward. We will beat this. Together.
Thanks.
Then come, Sancho Panza. Let us rescue the Princess Dulcinea. You gotta hurt yourself.
Sorry, bad traffic. One combat shop complimented Hunnigan.
Ha ha! This is kind of fun.
Ahead!
You're
kidding.
Yes, the time has come. Like I told you, I'm gonna get you home safe.
I'm ready to die, rookie.
Exalt all!
Leon! And let it be so!
This time, it has to be different.
Well now, time to cause some mayhem.
All right, so that was Resident Evil 4. As you can see, does have a release date, March 24th of this year. I'm not gonna lie, I'm playing it. The only Resident Evil game I never liked was 6 because I felt like they overdid it on 6. 4 initially did come out on the GameCube, was probably one of the better Resident Evil games that have come out. But the remake just, I can't lie, it looks awesome. But any thoughts on that, Joe?
I'm surprised they kept the minecart level in.
Mm-hmm.
Lewis should have been dead a long time ago in this game.
No, I can't argue that.
So Ashley looks like she's still doing stuff. I like that we now have a duck button on top of a parry button.
Yeah. Which I grateful for, by the way.
Mike is still alive.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting. I'll probably watch Maximilian Dude play it.
Cool.
I'm just sticking with Resident Evil 2 for me. At this point, it's just a dark comedy because I just run around with the rocket launcher.
I mean, that's after you play that. Shoot, that's the playback when you go back and all that anguish and hatred. It's like, I have a rocket launcher and limited ammo. I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna really have some fun.
Pretty much.
I'm with you on that. But speaking on things, because I have a question about Marvel and the fact that you're bringing back Ultimate Invasion. All I can sit there and say on this note is that, of course, this is coming out June 20 of 23. Ultimate Invasion, which I'm wondering how they're going to tell this story, because if memory serves me right, and I'm not sure if it's going to be a retelling or a different way of telling this, if they go by the first Ultimate Invasion, correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, everybody's wiped out.
Yeah, Ultimatum happened during the incursion right before Secret Wars, and pretty much the majority of the cast of Ultimates is dead.
Right.
By Magneto shifting the polarities of the Earth and causing mass flooding everywhere. I know for a fact Ultimate Ben killed Ultimate Doom by crushing his head. Wolverine assassinated Charles Xavier. They immediately killed Wolverine. I mean, let's also really be honest here.
Mm-hmm.
Who really cares about anybody in the Ultimate Universe outside of Miles Morales and Samuel Jackson, Nick Fury? Does anybody really, really care about Gray Cannibal Hulk? Or this A on my head stands for fucking America, Captain America?
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, honestly. You really ain't.
I'm also certain Ultimate Doctor Strange got his head popped by Ultimate Dormammu.
Yeah. He did. I remember that.
Like I said, I really don't think anyone really cares about the Ultimate Universe outside of Miles Morales and whatchamacallit and Nick Fury. So, it's kind of hard to say. Like, it's a 4-part miniseries, so I don't think it's going to have grand ramifications. It's just probably putting the Ultimate Universe back, meaning Miles can go back to his stories, which he already has a really decent book out again.
Yeah.
Like, Miles has not had a bad book since its inception. But I said it's super weird. I don't know what they're doing or how this is working, but, it's Jonathan Hickman and Brian Hitch, so art will be good. Story will be good.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know what kind of, fallout we're going to get from this other than moving Miles and Nick Fury back to the Ultimate Universe if that even happens.
That's fair. But I was just curious about that because I was like, how are they gonna? Well, I guess we'll find out. We'll find out come June. But it's like I have to see where they're going with this. But speaking of things and where they're going with this, Joe, you have got to explain Creo. I feel like I'm going to pronounce this thing horribly bad.
What, Crown Shinchan?
Yes. Because the thing about it is they are actually testing out the anime, and this is what they have. I have so many questions.
Shinchan is a long-running comedy. It actually came to America for a while.
I have so many questions. Oh man,
just a lot of butt humor, and not like potty humor, just like butt wiggle humor, and very Japanese lifestyle stuff. Like I said, we got it here in America for quite a while on Adult Swim.
Okay,
because his favorite action character was Action Bastard.
Okay, because I must have missed that because wow, just
that it's just a long running animated comedy in Japan, and this is just their doing superhero stuff. A lot of Crown Shinchan stuff actually teams up. Their movie is usually like a short opening for Super Sentai and Kamen Rider movies.
Okay.
A lot of times, like they team up. Like the last time they teamed up was Kamen Rider Den-O and Crown Shinchan.
Okay.
Where the Taros Bros teamed up with Crown Shinchan in an animated thing.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
So okay, that's where I was. Actually, I got you on that one. It threw me off. I was like, okay, I do remember. I did see. Yeah. Oh, that's where I saw it. Okay, cool. Sorry. Had a brain fart for a second. Anyway, that's coming out August 4th. Of course, it's overseas. And, usually if it's overseas, it's a year before it gets here. So, this other one, though, DC's Night Terrors. For all of us that don't know, I did not know about this. So basically, the event of DC Night Terrors will exist of basically titles that'll be limited run series with characters being sucked into the nightmare realm to confront their darkest fears. Now, I'll be honest with you, Night Terrors kind of reminds me of just horror, just taking your favorite character and just putting them through their own fear. But as you can see from the, so I can blow this up a little bit. There we go. So as you can see from there, we see Superman, you see Batman, Wonder Woman, Harley Quinn, Deadman. I'm sorry.
Sandman's one of them.
Yeah. So we're definitely going to be seeing a lot of our characters in the Nightmare realm facing their own fears. Now I can see Batman. Batman will probably be, I'm just gonna take a wild guess at it. Batman will probably be either seeing his parents or Joker. Superman, probably fear of his own planet.
No, it'll be the loss of his son.
You think so?
Oh yeah, it'll be the loss of his family. Superman family's too big now.
That is true. Wonder Woman.
God only knows.
I'd say Fall at the Mascara. I would have to say Fall at the Mascara or Death at something new on Amazon. I'll say that. Zatanna, I don't know. That could go either or. She deals with
something about her dad, more than likely.
Yeah, because she deals with the deals with Dusty Dark anyway. Harley Quinn, probably something Joker related or with her kid. That's it. The kid she gave up that she didn't want Joker to know about. So I can see that.
I thought that was an injustice.
Yeah, but they can use that, even though it's canon. But I guess they could use that. I mean, technically, this is a limited run, so anything's open season.
Yeah, Deadman, I have no idea. And I'm guessing the connecting tissue and all this is going to be Sandman.
Yeah.
Considering what his powers are.
I don't think so, considering that's his realm. The realm of dreams would have to be his domain, but...
No. Wrong Sandman.
Oh, no. Sorry.
They do. So it is confirmed by Neil Gaiman from Sandman and Sandman Mystery Theater.
Yeah.
James Robinson, that Dream does give Wesley Dodds his power to have prophetic dreams.
Right.
But those are two different Sandmen. That's Wesley Dodds Sandman.
Gotcha.
That's JSA Sandman.
That's where I was getting messed up at. Oh, actually, I take it back. There's one more picture. There, I was going down for a second. There's one more picture where it has that.
Yeah, I have no idea who that is. That's probably some new character.
Yeah.
That way they can get residuals.
I can see that. But no, I'm looking forward to this. I was just trying
I think
to
they said this is going to be written by Josh Williamson and art by Howard Porter.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this. When it comes out,
summer. Yeah. This is going to be the competing event, Contest of Chaos.
Yeah, so I'm with that, but yeah, that's going to be an interesting storyline. So the next one I got, guys, because the other one is just Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Released another trailer, but they gave us a release date after that. To save some time, it's also going to be later this year. If you're looking like me, you're looking forward to Wolong Fallen Dynasty, it definitely is worth it. Now, the last trailer I have for the State of Play before we go into our comics, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. I'm happy how it's playing, but I'm going to tell you why I'm mad afterwards.
Because we shoot a lot of purple crap?
Not that, but you're close.
Let's bust something up!
Oh, you know what? Hold on a sec. Hello, Brainiac? Is it happening now? Great. You will have Luthor ASAP. Good news! You want Luthor, all you have to do is come and get him. Flash is alive.
And he has Luthor.
One damn thing at a time. That artillery is gonna wreak havoc on our front line. If there's a snowball's chance in hell you can destroy it, I expect you to. No matter the cost. Are we clear?
Yeah. Where the snowball?
Time to light them all up.
Incoming Harley! Out of my way.
Guess Quinn ain't holding anything back for later.
Hold my beer, guys. Let's dance! Ah! That's gonna leave a mark.
Yeah! Focus our fire on this tank.
Why do we never get reinforcements?
Thunder upon this tank.
Yes! Gotcha, mate! Love explosion!
Incoming!
Set this chopper flying!
Roger that, Quinn. Eyes up. We got more company. Go, Shark, go.
Senseless violence. Love it.
Nail that weak spot, squad.
No worries. Boom! Job done.
You came through, Boomer.
Just call me the Pinball Wizard.
Unstoppable!
Quinn, there's more of them.
Thank you! Die already! Guys, this one won't die already!
Killing it out there, Hal! Come on!
Here comes the boom!
Huge target. Get on it now.
Rising. like a wave!
Oh, this is a chance!
Oh!
Ouch!
I love our escapades.
So, how'd the whole taking down the Flash thing go?
Still in play? Now get out of my way. I have work to do.
Well, hey there, sleepyhead. We've got an interrogation to get back to. Hey! You think I'm just gonna let you walk away? And tell these guys everything you know? You think they can stop us? Pathetic.
Pathetic? At least I'm not a big hero turned stooge for a spaceman.
Okay, Boomerang. You want to see what a real hero can do? I'll show you.
Flash, how do I stop this? Please, tell me how.
You have to kill us, Diana. We have to die to save the world.
And as you can see, guys, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League does have a release date, May 26th of this year. Now, with that being said, I do have some grievances. Well, technically one grievance. The grievance I really have with this is literally and figuratively, the gameplay is great. I do love the fact that you can include others in this. Do not get me wrong. The problem I have, as Joe so eloquently put it, he did half of what I had the issue with. Half of it was guns. Deadshot, I expected to use guns. Harley Quinn, I expected to use guns. But between Captain Boomerang and King Shark, how in the entire crap does every character use guns? I think that's the gripe I have. I'm like, Boomerang. He's literally called Captain Boomerang for a reason. He is called Captain Boomerang for a reason. King Shark, again, for a reason. Now I get that you have to add something to it, but I'm not trying to nitpick here. I am not trying to nitpick here. I am not trying to dismiss the game all completely, because again, I still want to play it. I still want to enjoy it, but it's just like, so we've gotten to the fact of customizing guns. I kind of feel like we're pulling a little bit from Borderlands 3 on this. But Joe, what are your thoughts on it as far as Kill the Suicide Squad? Because to me, it's like, I'm not trying to nitpick, but it's like everybody has guns that doesn't necessarily need to use them.
It looks like a prettier version of Avengers without their stunt doubles.
Pretty, yeah. But
it's also been confirmed you have to be on an internet connection to even play this, even the single player can't portion.
Yeah, the live service. That was the other thing I was going to get to.
They did say there's a battle pass, but it's cosmetic only. But I smell BS, and this is clearly going to be what was going to be is like, oh, Avengers is going to do fantastic. Let's make our next thing live action. There are a lot of people also now saying it's in poor taste that Kevin Conroy's final performance as Batman is going to be in a game where he could potentially be killed. It's also been someone's also may have leaked the thing for the script.
Mhm.
They say some members of the Justice League will be killed, some won't. Bears no.
But it's a thing. I get it. We are still wanting to respect the memory of Kevin Conroy. We always will respect the memory of Kevin Conroy. But Batman has died. For all those, Batman has died. And of course, the game is called Kill the Justice League. I'm not saying Batman's gonna die, but in true Rocksteady fashion, they are going to push the envelope. We might see some DC characters bite the bullet. We don't know that. But I think it's a little hesitant to think that Batman's going to be one of them, considering the fact that was the last great work that Kevin Conroy gave us. I think that might just be a little, I think we're jumping to conclusions a little bit too fast, honestly. But
honestly, I kind of hope he is one of the ones killed.
Yeah.
That way he can have his final words of rest as Batman.
Yeah. Again, I wouldn't be against it because it's for the story. It's great for the story because that means that they are taking it seriously. I cannot knock that. If they take it seriously, cool. No problem with that because it adds to it versus, just doing it just to be doing it. But again,
this is within the universe of Arkham Asylum.
Yeah. It's within the universe of Arkham Asylum. So yeah, it should stick with it. But again, that was my only gripe as far as the weapons and that there's a possible paywall again because video game studios, I don't blame video game studios. I blame the distributors and the big corporations behind it that are nickel and diming us. But again, this is why I still say that a lot of people are gonna start looking toward indie games before they become snatched up by corporations. But I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait to play it come May 23rd. But that's really all the news that I have. And I know we do have some comic book pulls to go through, Joe. So whenever at your leisure, sir.
Right. Again, get them full screen before I share.
Oh no, you're good. Because I was like, we really covered a lot in really record timing. That was a lot in record timing. But all right, we're good to go, sir. Whenever you're ready.
Yep. First book we're looking at is Betsy Braddock, Captain Britain. This is a continuation of the Teeny Howard Excalibur run that started at the start of the Krakoa era. This is now the third arc of this story. This stuff is kind of settled down in London after the Knights of X arc. Rachel and Betsy are living in the ancestral, not ancestral, but Braddock household as they are now a couple, Brian, Megan, and their child. This is their house. Jamie just kind of like appears every now and then. Trouble is afoot in the multiverse for Captain Britain as the Everforge, which kind of creates is a realm that is basically living sentinels.
Yeah.
For a better explanation, has for whatever reason been contracted because they are not evil per se. They are contracted to invade multiversal realms.
Just mercenaries.
Yeah, they're mercenaries. Betsy even goes right to them and they're like, yeah, we don't want to deal with you. We have no problems with you. We are doing stuff, but hey, we are paid to do that stuff. This is because Morgan Le Fay and the British Covenant, which is super racist to mutants, big surprise. Once Betsy gone, because she does not want they do not want her to be Captain Britain. Everybody wants Brian to be Captain Britain because apparently they think Brian is super easy to manipulate. Betsy is not.
Right.
The other thing about this book is that Pete Wisdom comes back, who is a former member of Excalibur and longtime member of Excalibur, is back to lead a reunited version of Strike, which is special tactical reserves for the International Key of Emergencies. It's kind of like Britain's version of the Wildcats would be a better way of putting it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Except, their book may be good. Yeah, that Wildcats book is not good. Solid start. We get to see a Captain Britain T-Rex, which I love to death. And then this is the start of the book, so not a lot to reveal. We know for a fact that Morgan Le Fay and the British Covenant have chosen a different Captain Britain to replace Betsy. We get a nice alone time with Betsy and Rachel, and just some fun stuff here and there. I enjoyed it because Excalibur is one of my favorite teams, X teams besides New Mutants and Generation X. So been collecting that. This is just another chapter for me.
Oh, no, it was interesting. I will give it that. The fact of where they're going with this one. So I'm willing to give another issue just to see where it goes and to see who's the person they selected to be their Captain Britain. But still, old girl having Excalibur just walking around with it nonchalantly is something else. But no, it was good. It was okay read.
We also got to remember the one very simple thing about this book. This is a multiversal book, even though this is set in 616.
Right.
I would not be surprised if the British Captain Britain they chose is Peggy Carter from another universe.
But it would make sense, though. Just keep it interesting. Keep it interesting. I can see that.
Moving on over, we have Immoral X-Men. This is Sins of Sinister Part 4. I'm going to sum this up the easiest way I can. You put a little bit of Sinister DNA into anybody, you just become a wrestling persona, because that's all these people are in this book. They are just wrestling personas.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
Like, Hope is just playing up the Godchild. Exodus is playing up the gallant knight as much as possible. Kitty is just kind of Kitty, no thing, but like Charles is like super weepy and like, I hate killing all these people because they just can't see the dream. And Emma is just Emma turned up to 11. She's just going like full queen.
Pretty much.
And Sinister is now realizing I should not have done this. This is the wrong way to go about things, because if everybody's me, I can't get away with crap.
And the group that he was sitting there talking to himself is like, well, I thought you needed advice for yourself. I also can't trust myself. Dang. It's like, that's like, you're gonna remove your group therapy buddy? That's petty. That's uber petty.
Well, I mean, remember the most elusive Sinister of all is the cat.
Yeah, but still, I just thought that was like uber petty to go that route. But that's just me.
Go ahead.
No, that's I was just saying. That's all I had.
So these first 3 books, parts 2 through 4, is year 10 in Sinister. The next group of 3 books will be year 100. So 100 years in the future. Right. And then the final 3, as it ends, will be year 1000.
That's going to be interesting.
We've already seen some versions of these mutants in some way, shape, or form. I believe the biggest one was the combination of the Rasputin siblings into one single entity as a chimera.
Yeah.
That appeared quite often during the all new, all different X-Men, when it was the teenage X-Men brought to the modern era. They were reusing some of those characters to be chimeras.
Okay.
I think it's just called Rasputin because it's all 3. It's Peter, Ileana, and Mikhail as a single being. I know that I've seen that in the solicits, but yeah, no, I love this book because I'm a giant Emma Frost fan, and all this is just Emma turned up to 11.
Emma was, I think that was just whatever hesitance she had is gone. This is
my favorite thing from this book is where Sinister unleashes like clones, a clone army of Scott Summer chimeras, and Emma's just like, when have I ever had a problem manipulating Scott?
damn. Just damn.
And then just immediately they all turn on Sinister.
That's just a damn moment. It's like, when have I ever had a problem manipulating? Damn.
Well, I think the actual quote is, when have I ever had a problem getting Scott to do what I want?
True, but damn. It's just, you can't just... that's just gonna stick with me. I'm sorry. That's gonna stick with me.
I mean, it's Emma, so you know.
Yeah, true.
She's one of my favorite characters for a reason. The woman is as strong as anything. So, you know, love it to death.
Yeah,
this is written by,
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You're good.
This is written by Karen Gillan, art by Paco Medina, inks by Walden Wong, Victor Alazaba, and colors by J. David Ramos and Chris Sotomayor. There's another thing that came up on my Twitter feed.
What you got?
And I love it so much, is that it showed one of the artists say, it's like, yeah, we sometimes take photographs of ourselves and use them as concept art.
Mm-hmm.
If you go look at this Twitter, it's on my Facebook. If you go look at this picture, the people drawing these books have the same frames as these characters. So you're telling me the man that draws Batman has the same physique as Bruce Wayne?
That's saying a lot.
Go look at my Facebook. You'll see what I mean. I think it's Humberto Ramos.
Let's see if I can get to it fast enough. Okay, yeah. Yeah. I got a question.
No, it's Jorge Jimenez.
Jorge Jimenez. We artists sometimes.
Yeah, Jorge Jimenez. So you're telling me this man looks like Superman or looks like Bruce Wayne, but his primary job is to draw comic books.
I got questions. I got a lot of questions. I cannot tell you, though, the amount of questions that I have right now looking at this. Just wow. That is a wow moment. Just, I don't think you're built like Batman, but all right. Whatever gets you through it, I guess.
You tell me he doesn't put on a Batman suit and you wind up with him in the dark, you're not going to be intimidated?
I would think more Azrael, but I mean, you got a point. I mean, you have a point. I'm not stopping you there. You have a point.
He even says, like, yeah, I got a Superman costume in my closet. Like, God damn it.
I would say, well, you know, we do need to fill that void, Superman. If only he was a certain age, but if you were a certain age, you down.
I'm so mad at this book right now. I'm just so mad. This is Amazing Spider-Man issue 20. This is written by guest writer Joe Kelly with art and inks by the married couple of Terry and Rachel Dodson. I'm so mad. Why can this not be the permanent team of this book?
Go ahead.
I so thoroughly enjoyed this book because we have a 2-issue arc where it's just Black Cat and Peter trying to further the relationship both in and out of costume at a North New York ski lodge where they run into tech bros called the Silicon Six who are trying to make a movie, and a murder mystery is afoot. White Rabbit, who is probably one of the most annoying characters I've met in a while, has a wonderful heart-to-heart with Felicia, and of course, through sheer coincidence, in the last issue, 19, John and MJ are there at the retreat. But Pete and Felicia are trying to deal with that. So I'm so mad. This is not the main team. I'm just so mad. Terry Dodson is a wonder. Terry and Rachel Dodson does wonderful artwork. This book looks gorgeous. I always want them to be able to draw Felicia Hardy or women in Marvel in general because they have a very wonderful style when it comes to portraying women in both an attractive form and a very powerful form.
Yeah.
They got that down. Like their comic, they have their own creator comic, which I've collected, which only comes out for so many issues because they're drawing everything and writing everything themselves. I think it's called Action Man or something. I'll look it up later and we'll post it.
Okay.
But we have JMD Mateus, or not JMD Mateus, J. Michaels, or John Romita Jr. There's just way too many multi-named people. John Romita Jr. doing this artwork, and if this was the artwork of the interiors, I would not read this if you gave it to me. That is not the case. Art's fantastic, story's hilarious and fantastic. My favorite part is where Felicia finally has the heart to heart with Peter. It's like, explain your relationship with Mary Jane to me. It's like, I love her like a sister. No, try again.
Mm-hmm.
Just immediately like cans that like, try again, sweetie. She's been a long part of my life, and I always want to be a part of it. That's better. How do you feel about her? I don't know, Pete. I don't know. I love her, but I'm not sure if that love is a capital L or a lowercase L. Kisses Peter and goes, "Thank you for being straightforward with me. Let's continue our vacation." These are the things I want in this book. I don't care about what else is going on. Said, I'm so mad
that you didn't get it. That you didn't get this at the beginning.
This is not the book the whole time.
It was different. I guess I just have to wait for the next one because I was.
Oh, this is it. It goes back to crap. The next arc is, what did Peter do 6 months ago?
They're going. Oh dear God. Oh dear God.
Yeah, like I said, I'm so mad. This is not the book the full time. I had so much fun with this. Like, yeah, they're dealing with like knockoff Sinister Stick tech bros, but
yeah,
I had so much fun with this.
And apparently, Mysterio was doing a trust fall. Mysterio was doing a trust fall, but I was dead. I just want to see what y'all would do. I'm kind of disappointed y'all blackmail rates weren't higher. It's like, wow. No, yeah. But it was okay.
Just so mad. Infernal Girl Red. This is written by, this is actually written by Mac Room with art and co-creator Erica DeRusso. Colors by Igor Monti. I always want to say Igor because of Young Frankenstein.
Because of how it looks?
No, because of Young Frankenstein. That's correctly spelled Igor, but I just always want to say Igor. Background assistant is Lorenzo Temedia, and color assistant is Sabrina De La Grossa. This continues. This is one of the many facets in the Massiveverse, or what we just call the Image Tokaverse. This is our Sentai series.
Yeah.
This is actually our Kamen Rider Magical Girl series.
Yeah.
This is Infernal Girl Red. We read chapter 1. We talked about it here. Second issue, we see Infernal Girl Red is facing off, which will probably be her arch nemesis. Moving forward, she gets help from her mom. Will and I are in dispute because she is a generational hero. I say the mom is the former Infernal Girl Red. Will thinks it's somebody else.
Yeah, I think it's Dr. Caro. I think it's her just because of how she was about to act, and that moment that she had that she was about to have a heart to heart with her and said, we'll talk later.
I think she's one of the other Inferno girls. The other thing is, this is another book of where it's a person of color protagonist. I believe she is Black and Hispanic.
Yeah, I'll take that guess.
Yeah. More power to him. Love that. The more diversity in comics, the better. I don't care what anybody else says. More stories with more different people of more different skin tones need to be told.
Right.
Especially Black superheroes. Like,
they just have to write them better, but I digress.
They write them better, and they need to not be electrically based powered.
There's other things besides electricity and fire.
Let Static get it. Static's got his own stuff.
Actually, if you give Static, you know what? Let me shut up. Go ahead, Joe.
I really dug this book. We know that Infernal Girl Red book 1 will be ending next issue,
Mhm.
and then they will be spinning into Supermassive 2 and then moving forward again.
Yeah.
So big stuff there. Really enjoyed this book. Also, we have an honorable mention. We don't have a cover for it because I just want to get by through this one. New book, issue 2. It's called Black Cloak. Think Blade Runner, but in a magical universe.
Yeah.
Where your main protagonist is pretty much a John Deckard, but trying to see who assassinated her fiance, and she's part of the legal organization, the Black Cloaks, which is a detective, pretty much like a Blade Runner.
Yeah. All replicants.
I dug it. I don't think it was Will's thing, but you're not a big fantasy person, are you?
No, I am. It's just that the initial issue didn't get me at first. That's the reason why I want to give it the next shot. I want to give it at least another issue to see where it goes. But yeah, the first issue didn't grab me, but I still want to give it at least 3 issues before I make my judgment on it.
Yeah, second issue helped out a lot more.
Okay, so I just need to go back and go read the second one then.
Yep,
and make a decision. But no,
moving on over into DC, we have Batman Superman World's Finest issue 12. This is written by Mark Waid. Art by Emanuela Lupacchino. Inks by Wade von Grombadger.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a real name. Norm Rapmond. Colors by Tamara Bonvillain. Okay, your name is Bonvillain.
That's still funny.
This is actually a pretty fun issue because this explores why there was so much animosity between Dick Grayson, and now we have that for confirmation. Mm-hmm. This is Dick Grayson. This is not Tim Drake.
They still do
this is just this universe's Dick Grayson. I still do not think this is the standard DC universe timeline.
Yeah.
Until they say otherwise, sure, or this is earlier adventures in the timeline. This could be new DCU timeline. That's fine. And then because everyone expects them to, they go out on a date and it's just terrible. It's just the worst date. And it's mostly Dick's fault. But to Dick's thing, he's very young in this, like we'll say 15, 16. And we know that Carr for a fact is at least 18 to 19.
Yeah.
But no, like you don't even bring Cash with you on a date. What's wrong with you?
I'm more like this monkey that just causes chaos. Monkey is right. My God. I was like, this monkey is worse than Mxyzptlk. But no, Robin was just, the way they did Grayson so dirty in this issue.
Well, I want to say like this is one of his first times going out with like somebody in the superhero community.
It's
like he asked her on a date and she shows up initially in standard civilian clothes and he's literally sitting in the restaurant in his Robin outfit.
I thought we were gonna do this in disguise. Really?
It was like, well, I asked you in the costume. I thought that we would show up in the costumes. Like, do you not see the S symbol on my chest? Do you know how much attention this draws?
Oh, it was that part, and then he kept on talking. He tried to talk to her, and then talking about himself. The
only thing they had in common was traumatic childhoods.
Yeah,
and I like that they keep telling like Clark and Bruce about these things. And my favorite word is like, I mean, you just stand out. It's like, and whose fault is it? I dress in green, white, and green, red, and yellow.
Damn.
Or then he like. And what was the other thing? It's like, oh, right, where Bruce like, no, people have happy endings all the time. Hawkman's married, then he's like, yeah, but he died and reincarnated to find his wife.
That was the petty side. That was petty.
No, the petty thing is the other one. It's like, well, what about Elongated Man? Ralph Dibny. We are nothing like Ralph Dibny.
He's like, yeah, you got a point. Does Talia have a sister? Damn.
We don't talk about Nissa Rackle. There's reasons.
Oh, the level of petty was that one, but no, it was.
My favorite is that Kara was just like, you can tell Clark is trying not to laugh at this entire scenario this whole time she's describing to it, and he's at least like, you are very nice for doing this for this young man.
That level of petty right there was funny. But it was a good issue. It was a good issue.
I
Aside
laughed so hard at this because if you've been reading this whole thing, it's hilariously how much they are angry with each other.
Yeah.
And you don't know what they're talking about because it's so erratic.
Yeah.
From the earlier conversations prior to this issue, because they always bring up a monkey and then bowling balls or something. Like the only time it's like, you didn't bring your wallet. It's like, where was I going to put it?
That's a fair point. I mean, the man wears shorts. Basically wears circus shorts. No, it's a good point. But no, that
I
part.
love this. This is so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Rounding us out, we have Dawn of DC Superman issue number 1. This was just a good book. I can't say that enough. Lots of status quo shifts in this. Lex is in jail. LexCorp has mysteriously become Supercorp.
Lois Lane is now the editor of the Daily Bugle.
And she hates it. She even says, like, I am in a cage. I am a reporter. I need to be out there. This is hell.
He's like, I need to hunt or I'm going to eat an intern. I was like, okay. That's different.
Clark is just doing his best. He is very offended by something Lex does in Supercorp. Rightfully so.
Yeah, I don't blame him for that.
Artwork is fantastic. This is written by Josh Williamson. Art and cover art is by Jamal Campbell. If you don't know who Jamal Campbell is, he single-handedly made Far Sector for artwork. So this artwork is going to be outstanding throughout this whole book. Lex is in jail. We hear him talking this whole time. We get to see Livewire, who we haven't seen in quite a while. For those unfamiliar with Livewire, she was the Superman Harley Quinn, where she started in the cartoon and then became a comic book character. She just didn't reach the level of fame Harley did. We get to see Parasite coming out, or at least Parasites.
Yeah, that was it.
We see a very brief panel of Lex looking suspiciously like Superman animated series Lex. And I was like, oh, they're making Lex Black Lex again. Cool. And then he like turns a corner and it's better lighting.
Yeah.
Like, man, that makes me sad. Animated series Lex was best Lex.
Yeah, I can agree to that.
The other thing on this one, what was the other goofy thing I noticed? I gotta read it to think. The principal thing, I listened to a podcast with Josh Williamson, who I love this man to death in interviews. He's like Holland. He can't keep his mouth shut, but he's also like the golden boy of DC, so they're not going to tell him to shut up.
So he's the plant.
Yeah, like he's telling us, like, oh, this like spoils issue 5, but here I'm going to tell you. So what the big story in the Superman thing is with Lex in jail and Clark running LexCorp. We see that Lex left Smallville. And came to establish himself in Metropolis much long for an extended period of time before Clark even came. And Lex is the reason why Metropolis is the city of tomorrow.
Okay.
So Clark is learning what Lex is doing, because like getting in a green and purple battle suit and running the Legion Doom is Lex's night job. Clark is going to learn what Lex's day job is in Metropolis. And Lex has no problem telling us, like, you were doing what? Oh, yeah, no, I did that. For how long? Oh, a while now.
See, but the whole...
So the reason why the sewer slide slums are like, yep, on purpose.
Yeah.
And the reason Uptown's like, oh, absolutely.
That's going to be interesting as far as where they're going to go with the story. But because it's Dawn of DC, under Gunn's leadership, I have full faith in this.
So yeah, I don't really know this is under Gunn's leadership. Like, I know the comics are supposed to be connecting, but I think those will be like one shots.
Yeah.
or there'll be Elseworld tales that coincide with his DC universe, while this or that DC Earth, while this DC Earth is its own thing. But like, I am legitimately looking forward to Superman again.
Yeah,
I have not been this excited since the Tim Seeley run, where Superman was Helicopter Dad. Like, it's really hard for me to get interested in Superman. It's hard for anybody to really get interested in Superman. You got to have the right writer. You got to have the right story.
But that goes back to what we said. It depends on who writes it. If it's a good story, it will pull you in. If it's a bad story, it'll push you away. Ask Zeb Wells.
Yes.
But
so yeah, this was the big book of the week. I enjoyed it. The art was fantastic. You know, Jamal Campbell. At this point, he's in my top 5.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool. But thank you for that, Joe. And of course, before we do get to our ending, we do want to give a shout out to Rick's Comic City. Rick's Comic City, if you are in the Middle Tennessee area, they actually have several locations, as you can see there in Nashville and Clarksville, Tennessee. So definitely, if you are in the Middle Tennessee area, definitely check them out. They have been voted Nashville's #1 place for comic book stores. Also, you can go to their website, as you can see there at Rick's Comic City. You can also now see them on eBay. Yes, they are branching out. That you can actually see a lot of their inventory on eBay as well, and also buy their graded comics. But if you are in the Middle Tennessee area, definitely go out and support them. If you are not in the Middle Tennessee area, support your local comic book stores wherever they may be. Support your local libraries, as they carry the most up-to-date manga, anime, and multimedia for all your needs. So if you are in the Middle Tennessee area, definitely check out Rick's Comic Book City. But again, if you're not able to, definitely support your local libraries and comic book stores. As we wrap it up, sir, anything you want to let the people know that's what you'll be doing come during this week?
Probably if I can get time, still stream Midnight Suns on my Twitch. At some point, I'll get back to the Battle Spirit stuff. I'm on a small break right now. I had to put out a Where's the Content short video, because I actually legitimately got comments like, hey, when's the next video? What are you covering next? What's your thoughts on the Yellow 2 Rush deck? Because April's coming up and we want to go to Vegas.
Well,
hey, are you going to be in Vegas? So I had to answer questions.
Really?
The answer to the last questions is no, Joe can't travel.
No, Joe can travel if money's involved.
No, Joe will not be traveling if money's involved, because I'm not taking a plane to Vegas.
Boat? No, not boat. Elongated car ride?
What the hell kind of stretch limo do you think we have?
No, elongated car ride, like journey-wise.
No, I wouldn't be doing that. No, I'll wait to see if they get closer. I do not want to do that. Plus, I want to build decks more than I want to actually play. So,
but I mean, it's cool that people are reaching out to you and asking for questions. Hey,
I dig it, and I love the community for it. But I'm also losing subscribers because hey, just let us know and we'll resubscribe. It's like, all right, here's what's going on. You guys got to realize, unlike a lot of people, I actually have a day job and I work in a hospital.
Right.
The channel goes dark sometimes.
Yeah.
But it'll come back. I'll get more content. I will look at that Yellow 2 drop deck. I will let you guys know what I think is going to be the decks to play at the opening event in Vegas for $150 million.
Jesus.
Yeah, this is a money game, which is going to bring everybody. So, wait.
What's the pot again?
$100 $1 million or something.
Still. Gee, how about you said 150 million? I was like, wait a minute, is this Capcom's Cup?
Let me look. I can Google it real quick. Battle Spirit Saga official website.
I was gonna say, I can imagine. Well, I know Capcom had $1 million cup for their most recent tournament, so I guess that's not beyond the realm of possibility.
Cash competition. Learn more. No, I don't want to YouTube. Product World events.
Although you got to admit, to sit there and be able to play a tournament, play your favorite game, and then win money, that ain't no better feeling than that. That's just honesty.
Yeah, the launch event is in Vegas for $1 million.
Oh yeah, I'd give it a shot. What's the buy-in? No. what's the
buy-in's free.
Oh, can I swing it? I mean, Southwest nonstop. I can swing it. But anyway, what else you got, Joe?
And then just wherever I can around, I'll be on the channel. Just playing Midnight Suns, wondering why I can't upgrade anything, and then I know why. I finally tried playing Spider-Man on PlayStation 5 and put it on performance mode. It's like, oh, this is what 60 frames per second feels like. It's weird.
Big difference.
It's just super smooth, and I'm not used to that much smoothness. It's like, this is very weird. But of course, I immediately unlocked the Scarlet Spider suit, so no, I'm running around a Scarlet Spider.
Priorities. Oh man, well, you can catch Joe on his YouTube channel, Total Justice Gaming. Of course, catch him on his Twitch channel at Joe Italian last name, and of course, catch him out whenever he's doing a con. Like I said, he was just cosplaying not too long ago. With help me out here, Joe. Who are you cosplaying with not too long ago? I forgot the name of the group already.
Oh, Cosplay Collective, Tony's Dad Bod Cosplaying Associates, but kind of retiring that one because it's really hard to do work, then get out there in uniform.
Gotcha.
Just some other stuff. Yeah, although I'm not really planning on doing too many cons until April because we're still in flu season and whatnot. So I'm gonna sit out March, say for very small outside events.
Mm-hmm.
The Ghostbusters doing something at an ice cream place in Hendersonville. I'll be at that March 4th or 5th or something.
Gotcha. Okay.
So there's that. But like I said, I'm not planning on doing any big cons until at least April.
Gotcha covered. All right. Well, at least you can still check out his YouTube channel, Twitch channel there. Also, let me also give a shout out to other people that rock with us. My buddy Vaughn at Big BZA. You can definitely check out him. Big BZA on all socials, especially his YouTube page where he's back to making beats. So definitely give him a shout out, like and follow him there. And hey, buy some beats if you're interested. Of course, for me, guys, you're probably wondering why Black Spartan. I have a very special surprise set up for that. It's just going to take a little while because some adjustments need to be made to a certain helmet. But when it's available, I can't wait to show it off. But Black Spartan here on
Get both going to have to wear helmets that episode?
If you want to.
Okay.
I'm not going to hold that against you. I'm looking forward to it, honestly. I'm looking forward
Technically, it's a Centurion helmet, so Spartans versus Centurions.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But on my social, you can find me BlackFox447 on just about everything, as I usually give reviews on everything that I watch, that I play, that I read, even gym stuff, because I believe in doing push-ups. Also, guys, link at the bottom of me to make that just a wee bit bigger for you guys to find it. If you copy and paste that link into your browser, we'll take you to our link tree that has the YouTube, Facebook groups for all of our podcasts. How the Crap Got Here, Get Bit, of course, y'all Fun's podcast. Like, share, and subscribe. Let us know what you think of everything that we covered tonight. And at the same time, guys, again, as Joe so eloquently put it, it is flu season. Flu season, Corona, it's a mosh pot of things that can get you sick out there. So if you are traveling, definitely wear a mask. Please protect yourself. If you feel the least bit sick, please stay home. Joe being a hospital professional will tell you right now, hospitals are not fun to be in. And because he works in them, they do their best, but help them out. Protect yourself. That's how you protect others. And hopefully we will ride out this flu season to where the numbers can get down. Again, the last thing I always usually say before we wrap this up, guys, there is no competition between anybody. The only competition you have is yourself. But I will root for you. I will support you. I will share whatever is going on if I can't buy anything, because we need to get to this point of supporting each other, not just in the world of content creation, but just in life general, because everybody succeeds at different speeds. Not everybody's all the same. But when it's your turn, enjoy it. But when it's someone else's turn, celebrate with them. It's a lot easier to be positive than it is to be negative. That's all I'm saying. But aside from that, do your best that you can, but know that other people cheering for your section, including us. But as we wrap this up, guys, we will definitely be back here next Friday, same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel, with news of the week. And yeah, aside from that, Joe, any last words, sir, before we call it a night?
Don't be a dick and try to die as an Avenger.
Don't be a dick. Thank you, Will Wheaton and Ant-Man. He has been Will. I've been Joe. And I've been backwards. This has been the Give It Podcast for tonight, guys. Take care of yourselves and each other. We will all get through this. Peace.
Technically, my middle name is William, so you were half right.